We've seen presidents do comedy shows before, from Arsenio Hall to The Tonight Show, and President Obama does The View, does Jimmy Fallon, does The Daily Show, but we've never seen this before. President Obama online with comedian and actor Zach Galifianakis on his mock talk show Between Two Ferns.
I have to know, what is it like to be the last black president?
Seriously? What's it like for this to be the last time you ever talk to a president?
It must kind of stink, though, that you can't run, 3 times.
No, actually, I think it's a good idea. If I ran a third time, it'd be sort of like doing a third Hangover movie. Didn't really work out very well, did it?
Where are you planning on building a presidential library, in Hawaii or your home country of Kenya? You said if you had a son, you would not let him play football. What makes you think that he would want to play football? What if he was a nerd like you?
Do you think a woman like Michelle would marry a nerd? Why don't you ask her whether she thinks I'm a nerd?
Could I?
No, I'm not going to let her near you.
Obama's reason for booking the gig? To promote healthcare reform to the young people it needs to enroll, which is exactly the show's target demo.
So do you go to any websites that are .coms or .nets, or do you mainly just stick with .govs?
No, actually, we go to .govs. Have you heard of healthcare.gov?
Here we go. Okay, let's get this out of the way. What did you come here to plug?
Well, first of all, I think it's fair to say that I wouldn't be with you here today if I didn't have something to plug. Have you heard of the Affordable Care Act?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That's the thing that doesn't work. Why would you get the guy that created the Zune to make your website?
Healthcare.gov works great now.
Now, this is not your typical talk show. Anna Galifianakis once pretended to spank Justin Bieber, in addition to other typically cringe-inducing interviews with other celebrities. And the move seems to have worked. This morning, the White House's healthcare communications team reported that Funny or Die had become the #1 source of referrals to healthcare.org. First of all, funny, not funny? Funny or Die?
I did not think it was that funny. And I went into watching it with a very open mind, and I like Zach Galifianakis, but it fell flat to me.
Dom, you chuckled a couple of times.
I'm disgusted.
Really?
Come on, Mr. President. You're the President of the United States. Why are you sitting there talking to that clown about that nonsense? I mean, come on. I understand he's pushing health care. And I understand that for the American politician, the filters have changed. They don't like dealing with the media, people like us that are asking, that sit around all day to come up with these gotcha questions. I get that much. I get the fact that Americans turn to Jon Stewart for their news. I understand that. But Mr. President, that's too far. I mean, which rocket scientist in the White House said, Mr. President, we ought to do this?
They are so desperate right now.
That's the way it looks.
This is exactly what you end up with.
I hate to agree with Jessica, but it does look desperate.
Mark the note in history.
624. Do you think it made him look unpresidential? Do you think it was beneath the office?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes. With the first question being, and there are a lot of us that feel that way, when he asked, what does it feel like to be the last black president? Because there are many of us that feel that he will be the last black president. But come on, Mr. President. I mean, okay, you do Jay Leno, you do, who's the other one? Letterman, and
well, so what's the cutoff? Is it because
that's the cutoff? That's the
cutoff.
That's the cutoff.
Michelle did. Was it Jimmy Kimmel, or I forget who she was on recently?
She's done Jimmy Kimmel. He's done Jimmy Fallon.
And it was like it's okay. It's sort of like softer. It's fine for the wife to do it, but like the president of the United States, I just think, and that is really setting the bar so low. They're so desperate that they need to go after, one, young people for the Obamacare being such a disaster, and two, to try and boost up his poll numbers with young people. But it didn't work in either case.
When I've been listening to the radio for the last couple of days, on the urban stations, if you will, all you hear are the commercials for young people to enroll in Obamacare. That's cool, and I agree again. Maybe something's in the water. I agree again that, you have the first lady, but see, Michelle Obama would not tolerate that for 2 seconds. It was beneath him, and I don't know. You do Leno, Now, I can't get my interview with the president, but he can go do that nonsense.
Well, you do tend to get more serious interviews, even doing a Letterman or doing a Jon Stewart. When the president's on those shows, the questions are it's not just comedy. There's a few jokes thrown in. It seemed like this whole thing was just going for the laugh and maybe missing.
He didn't seem to enjoy it. He didn't seem like he was comfortable sitting
Yeah,
there.
it was too forced.
And it
Like,
didn't, right? It didn't seem like it
wasn't-
was pumping healthcare.
That may be the show. I mean, that may be the format of the show. It's a little cringy and that sort of thing. About healthcare and getting people to enroll in healthcare, I mean, we've been debating it for years on this show, but this is not a show that's designed to get 18 to 25-year-olds, especially, you know, that group to watch. Do you really have a problem with them trying to get that demo to sign up for healthcare?
I don't, except for the fact that he's doing it because it's been such a massive failure so far that this is what he has to result to
But wouldn't
in
you
order
have had that
to.
problem no matter how the rollout had been, only because, again, it's not,
No,
that's not an age
it's-
group that tends
this
to follow
whole
the news as closely.
Thing has been so embarrassing, like the boy in the pajamas with the mug of hot cocoa advertising Obamacare. Like the whole thing has just been an epic, embarrassing disaster, and this is a new low for it.
Okay, what does Mayor de Blasio, I know you're short on time, what does de Blasio do? He goes on an urban station, a rap station. Mr. President, you can do that, but come on, this nonsense?
Oh, he'd be criticized if he went on an urban
This is
rap
true.
station as well.
This is true.
Unfortunately, that is going to be where we have to leave it, and that's it for the panel tonight. My thanks to Jessica and Dominic, as always. Up next, we've got a special report from NHK Television. 3 years after a devastating earthquake and tsunami, how that nation is slowly recovering and returning to normal. That's after a break here on RFL. We're going to see you right back here tomorrow night at 6.